We're going to start our Cavs preview, by the way, with some over-under projections for the Cavs' biggest players. I'm not asking for individual stats. I'm going to give you guys their entire stat line for the upcoming season, and you guys tell me if each individual player will outperform or underperform the stat projections that I came up with. These were not FanDuel. These are not any other sports book. These are simply what I think these guys can hit this year. So it's either a yes, they'll do better, or a no, they'll do worse, not, well, I think points will be higher, rebounds will be lower, et cetera, et cetera. It's either all or nothing. So you guys ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. We'll start with Donovan Mitchell. If Donovan puts up a season that looks like this, 25.5 points per game, 45% from the floor, 41% from three, 4 rebounds, and 5.5 assists, would you guys take that? You think he overperforms or underperforms that entire statistical profile?
I was a little confused. I thought we were saying whether he would do better or worse. You're saying, would this be a good season or not?
Do you think he'll do better than this season, or do you think he'll underperform compared to this as the baseline?
Oh, okay, so I am right.
Yeah, so this is the baseline, better or worse.
Will he do better or worse, guys? Tyvis?
I feel like he'd be right around there. I'm going to go with he might do a little bit better. I think that his assist numbers would be a little bit better because of the fact that Darius won't be there for a little bit of that beginning of that season. He'll be able to get them numbers up. And I think he took that backseat role last year, like as far as like the scoring goes. And I think he was like okay with it, but like according to Mike, he in mid-season form already. So if that's the case, he probably going to overachieve them points per game. So I'm going to say a little bit over.
Mike, what were his numbers last year?
24 a game.
24.
4.5 rebounds a game, 5 assists per game.
Yep.
He shot 36.8% from three. All those numbers are up. So I would say this would be great.
He's going to do better than this or worse?
See, that's the thing.
Oh, is it better? No, I don't think it's going to be better than that. I think if he gets close to this, I'd be happy. If he does what he did last year, I'd be happy.
So is he going to overperform these numbers or underperform these numbers? You're saying more likely he's going to underperform.
Mike has made this game a little confusing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not that smart.
See, that's what I'm saying. Because I would agree. Like, I would just take that and be fine.
So how about this? Would you take this as the
yes,
all day, all day, every day?
Certainly would take this. I do think his numbers are going to be a little better than this, which is pretty impressive because it would be better than last year. But I agree with Tyvis. I think his assists will be a little higher, especially earlier in the season, for 2 reasons. One, Darius is not there, and from talking to Mike mostly, they're really going to make a point, even more so, of making sure Evan Mobley is a key focus of the offense, and Donovan Mitchell is a part of the key of making that happen. I also think he's going to score more because Darius is not here, although it sounds like from what Mike's saying that Darius may be back sooner than we think, but Max Strus is not going to be here for a while. And it'll be interesting. Well, how often do you think Lonzo Ball and Donovan Mitchell will be on the court together?
Isn't that not the starting
line? A good bit, yeah.
Is that not the starting lineup?
No, Sam Merrill's going to start the 2.
Oh.
So what do you think? Like, what you think they'll be on the court together?
I think they're going to ease Lonzo into it. Let's just say Lonzo plays 20 minutes a game. I think it's probably a 50-50 split, 10 minutes alongside Don and 10 minutes without. So I don't think it's going to be a giant overlap.
How do you think they run the offense when they overlap?
When Lonzo's in the game, I hope Lonzo's the initiator of the offense and they use more Donovan in off-ball situations to
and that'd be good for him physically.
Yeah, it would be very good for him physically. Yeah.
So I think because of that, Donovan's points will go up a little bit, especially early in the season without Darius. So, all right, we're all feeling positive.
I feel like
Donovan.
early in the season he's going to have to because Max Strus is out and Darius is out. So
Strus is out for a while.
The scoring's got to come from.
Yeah, Strus will not be back anytime soon.
DeAndre Hunter also might not play in the opener tomorrow.
Boo.
Yes. Darius is our next guy, and I guess
overperform. I don't care what you say.
However you want to phrase this, guys, but
that's
Darius,
the
season projection, 21 points per game, 49% from the floor, 42 from 3 rebounds, 7 assists. These are slightly up from his numbers last year, but ever so slightly.
I would go overperform on the field goal percentage. He's going to be in the 50-40-90 club.
Damn.
He was close last year.
I know. That's why I said he's going to get it this year.
What's his injury again? I can't remember.
It's still a toe.
It's
the toe from last year.
It's a turf toe.
I couldn't remember what it was.
He got surgery on it.
Turf toe. Dustin, what do you got on Darius?
I'm pulling up I was looking at his numbers from last year just to see where they were exactly. These are all up too. I mean,
these are slightly up. He averaged 20.6 points and 6.7 rebounds.
Yeah, I think that he'll be under this.
I agree. I'm down on Darius Garland. He's coming off injury. He's frequently hurt. I could see his. I think his scoring definitely is going to be down this year. I could see it's going to be interesting because they got this focus on Evan Mobley, and Lonzo Ball plays into that. And certainly Donovan does too. It'll be interesting to see when Darius comes back if that changes at all. Because ultimately, we've talked about this a million times. If the Cavs are going to be the best version of themselves, it has to be with Evan Mobley as a superstar leading the way. Or at least co-leading the way with Donovan. And Darius has got to be the third guy.
I actually agree with you guys. I would go under those numbers. And another reason, I think DeAndre Hunter, who we'll get to in a little bit, is going to score a lot more than people think he's going to score this year.
All right.
So we'll get to him later, though. Let's go to Evan Mobley. Obviously, guys, we've talked a lot about Evan. These are the biggest statistical projection jumps from a previous season this season.
5 points per game up.
Yep.
1 rebound per game up.
Yeah,
and almost 1 assist per game up.
And the efficiency from beyond the arc up as well.
What did he shoot from 3 last year? He actually was worse from 3 last year than the year before.
Yeah, it was 37 versus 38, but on higher volume. So
yeah, that's true.
It was a better three-point shooting season in totality, even if the percentage was slow.
I'd like to see him up his free throw stats,
Man,
too.
if he what's his free throw percentage?
I would
72.
take them numbers right there, boy.
I'd like to see him get in the 80s.
Mobley shot 73%.
I'd like to see him in the 80s because he gets to the line a ton. This is a great stat line. I'm going to say he'll be north of the points per game.
Wow.
Well, because Garland's going to go down, and we just kind of talked about that a little bit. I think Mobley's going to be up.
They going to make him go up.
Yeah.
If Mobley plays like this in the playoffs, they're going to the finals. If this is what he's doing in the playoffs, now we'll see. I know we're talking about regular season. But if he's a 24, 25-point-a-game guy with 10 boards and 4 assists in the playoffs, if he's that kind of player, I mean, that's superstar level.
I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm going to say he's going to do a little bit better. I'm going to say about 24, 25 points a game.
I'm going to be the one negative Nancy here. I just don't see a 5-point jump is a lot.
It is.
He's only gone up 2.5 points
they
from year 1 to
forcing
year
it on him, though.
4. I hear you, but there's a lot of good scorers on this team. You know, I mean, where are all those points coming from? I know we think Darius is going to be down, but Donovan's going to be at least the same, if not more. Allen's going to score his points. I don't think that's going to change significantly. And you said DeAndre Hunter you think is going to score more.
I do.
I know you don't have Ty Jerome, and Lonzo won't score as much as Ty Jerome. But you think Sam Merrill is going to play more, so he'll probably score a little more.
You don't have Strus for a big chunk of the season, though. That's another
I hear you.
12
But
points a game.
Larry Nance will be he'll score some points, whereas he's replacing Tristan Thompson, who was a 0. So I don't know. I mean, that's a big jump.
It is.
It would happen, I think, if he increases his 3-point shooting percentage, and obviously I just mentioned free throws. That's another point or two maybe per game, and then. Last year, he averaged 3.2 threes per game.
Right.
Average making 1.2.
Right. So if
he makes 2 threes a game?
If he goes up to where he's doing what like
1.7
out of 4 per game.
And he's going to take more threes. I promise you right now,
Yeah.
he will be taking more threes this year.
That gets you there right there with maybe an extra free throw or 2 and then an extra 3.
By the way, sidebar note. I was watching a video of Reggie Miller.
Great shooter.
Being asked in their prime, starting a team, who you taking, LeBron or Larry Bird? And Reggie Miller said Larry Bird.
Shocker.
Did he play Larry?
Larry Bird coached him.
Okay.
Yeah, of course he's saying Larry.
Go ahead.
All right, next one. Jarrett Allen. This is essentially a copy and paste of what he did last year. Can we get this from Jarrett Allen again? Essentially, could he repeat what he did last year?
Yeah, because
Maybe his scoring goes down a little bit.
He is who he is. He's the most consistent as far as numbers go. He give you about the same stat line every year, so I'm going to say I'd take that right there. If I had to choose between over and under, then I'd agree with Bull that maybe he'd be slightly under.
Yeah. I'll say he doesn't. I'd say he scores less because
I think he scores less too.
Right. If you guys are right and
About Mobley, yeah.
Mobley, then he's going to have to score a little less.
I agree.
And I just think I think he'll play less minutes to just kind of free up Mobley a little more.
I think, too, in closing situations,
he's out, right?
He's out.
I think it depends on matchup, but I will die on the hill that the Cavs' best closing lineup involves Mobley at the 5 and Hunter at the 4. Like, I'm just going to die on that hill till I'm proven wrong. And if he's not in for those final 6 minutes of fourth quarters in a lot of situations, those numbers you see on the screen, just based on the minutes he's playing, go down a little bit.
Who's your closing 5 in the playoffs right now if everybody's healthy?
Everyone's healthy?
Lonzo in there?
I want to see how he plays alongside Darius and Donovan.
Right. That's weird.
I think he could fit alongside those two. Like, I think he could be your 3 in that
his
situation.
Length in terms of protecting the perimeter
How
would
tall
be
is
huge.
Isn't he like
6'6", Mike was
He's
saying.
6'6".
His arms are down
a legit
to
6'6".
his ankles, man. He's
And
long.
if you have him, because Hunter's 6'8", and his arms, wingspan's 7'2". Mobley, you're not that small. You're small on the perimeter, but you have a lot of switchability and flexibility. We're going to see who else steps up, but
you wouldn't take.
I'm fascinated by that trio.
You wouldn't take Darius out, even though he's the liability in closing minutes, and put Lonzo at the 1.
He was also their best offensive player in the clutch.
So
last season,
if Lonzo's not out there?
Yeah, that's true.
Who is out there?
Max Strus.
No, see, I'm worried about the defensive capabilities of the 2 small guards and Strus alongside Hunter.
So then if it's not Allen and it's not Strus and it's not Lonzo,
I'm thinking.
If you tell me the white stiff is out there, we're going to fight.
Dean Wade.
No, it wouldn't be. I think
Larry Nance?
Yeah, I think if Larry's playing well, you have a chance because then you can slide DeAndre to the 3 and you're supersized front court, but you still have shooting. Like, because the issue with the supersized front court last year, Allen's better than Larry Nance Jr., but there's just not as much spacing. There's just not the offensive threat that Larry Nance provides. And I've said this stat before. I'll say it again. Larry was the second most efficient three-point shooting big in the league last year. Small volume, but literally number 2 behind Nikola Jokic. Like, that's how
many
efficient
threes
he was.
did he take per game?
Like 4.2 when he shot like 44% on threes. Like,
amount.
it was real volume.
Larry Nance to shoot like that?
Yeah, well, he's old. He's not the athlete he was.
Yeah,
You're
I
not going to
guess
see
that's
Larry
I
posterize
guess you
guys.
got a
How old
point.
is he?
Larry Nance is now 32 years old. He turns 33
Dang,
in
he
January.
up there like that?
Is
Yeah.
is this his second or third stint with the Cavs? I
Second.
can't remember.
Second, because
This is his second stint with the Cavs.
All right.
Lakers, Cleveland, Portland, New Orleans, Atlanta, and back to Cleveland. Yeah, last year he shot 44.7% from 3 on 4.
I know,
like
it
I
seems like
remember
he's-
him when
yeah.
he was just coming in the league.
All right, what do you
So
got
it
next?
gives you
Mike?
spacing. All right, Hunter is up next. Now, I'm buying Mobley stock. I'm also buying all the DeAndre Hunter stock.
Damn,
so
18.
I made these once again. I may be too high on Hunter. Do you guys think DeAndre can reach these numbers, or am I too high and expecting too much from the Cavs' big acquisition from last
What's
season?
the most points per game he's averaged?
I'm going under just because Mike think he's gonna get this. Simply, that's
This is
the
a
only
fade
reason.
Mike take
Fade
here.
Mike. If this was a parlay, I'd fade Mike.
You said what's the most points he's ever averaged?
Yeah.
He was averaging 19 in Atlanta last year before the trade
Oh.
in 38 games.
I do appreciate a good fade, Travis, but I'm going to go with Mike on this one. I'll say he's around these numbers. I don't know that I can go any higher than that, but I'll say he's around these numbers. I can see him scoring 18 a game. Dustin, what do you got?
18 seems high.
It is. It's a lot.
It seems high.
Fade Mike.
You're out. Fade Mike.
I'm not fading Mike. It's just, I'm more fading DeAndre Hunter.
Fading Hunter.
Yeah, I'll go under that.
All right. Go ahead,
That's fair.
Mike.
One thing on Hunter, and obviously he went knee to knee with somebody in the final preseason game. He's day to day. We'll see if he plays tomorrow. They are going to rely on him as an isolation scorer at a bunch of different opportunities throughout the game when he has mismatches. We saw it in that first game against Chicago. If they put someone smaller on Hunter, he put his ass straight to the blocks at giving a rock and put some nice post moves on and had a nice little fadeaway jump shot. I'm hoping that wasn't just a one-off. I'm hoping they take advantage of that because if they have Hunter and teams want to guard him with a smaller defender at 6'8", the way he shoots with his wingspan, you're not blocking his shot. It's just a matter of is he going to make it or miss it. That's the one size mismatch on the perimeter the Cavs have, and I hope they take advantage. So that's why I'm high on Hunter. Lonzo Ball, next up. Bo, this is the hardest one to come up with because I don't really know. So I went with 8.5, 4 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 43% from the floor, 37% from beyond the arc. To hit these, he probably has to play a good bit. But do you think this is possible?
Definitely. I think it could be even better than that. The thing is with Lonzo, I mean, you got to be. I say you got to be careful with how much you play him because he's so injury prone. But then again, like I don't know if a guy's injury prone, does it matter if he plays 18 minutes a game or 24? Is that going to make a difference? Is the extra 6 minutes? I don't know. Maybe it's better for him to play more minutes. Maybe that'll.
How many minutes do you think he's going to play?
20 minutes a game, Mike. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think just to be safe, they're only going to play about 20 minutes a game.
All right, so
Man,
for reference, his best season as a pro came in 2021 or 2020, 2021 with the Hornets. Or Pelicans, excuse me.
I say he played for the Hornets.
New Orleans. Pelicans.
I got you. I got you.
Thank you. The Pelicans.
Yeah.
He played 31 minutes a game.
All right, that's a lot.
Right, so you're not gonna play that, but he scored almost 15 a game.
Right. Okay.
So
you think it might be a little bit better?
Yeah, I think that this 8.5, 9 is
That's about right.
8.5, 9, 10 points is where it should be.
Yeah. I mean, I care more about the assists and the rebounds and the defense
his assists will be there
than I do with the points. I think he's going to average more than 5.5 assists. What do you average? What's the career average in assists?
5.8.
5.8. Well, so why would you think he'd be down? Just because he's not going to play as many minutes?
Just his minutes will be down. That's 5.8 in a career 28 minute per game.
I think he's gonna have what's his
but
best.
Isn't he playing with the best talent around him he's ever played with?
Without a doubt.
So I was going to say
I got him up on the assists.
I agree.
I think he could average like 6.5 assists.
What's been his best season of assists? Like
7.2.
Ooh.
And that was playing what? 28 minutes a game.
34. That was a rookie year. 34 minutes a game.
All right. I mean, that's a lot. But still,
I think he's gonna get more than 5.5.
It comes down to how many minutes he's going to play,
and that's why this is the hardest one to kind of.
So it's hard because you don't know you don't have a feel for it.
5.5 a lot too.
But early in the season, with no Garland and no Strus, I mean, I think he's Then again, they might just play Jalen Tyson, not Tyson, but
Craig Porter Jr.,
Craig
Tyrese
Porter
Proctor. I'll say this real quick because we got Mary Kay in the queue, so we got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But Lonzo's injury last year wasn't related to the debilitating knee injury that kept him out 2 years, and from all accounts, he is fully healthy in camp right now.
It was an ACL 2 years ago, right?
Well, he had the degenerative knee issues, which kept him out the back-to-back years. Last year, he landed it on his wrist. His knee was fine, landed on his wrist and hurt his wrist. So it was a completely separate injury last year.
You
the
never
knee,
know.
for 2 years now, has been healthy, which is what kept him out. So that was the biggest issue.
Right.
We'll see if he can stay healthy.
How old is he?
Lonzo is 27 years old.
All right, still young enough.
It's crazy. I thought he was like 32.
He turns 28.
He was like 32.
Yeah.
He turns 28 next week.
Man,
I've been hearing about him for so long.